Motorcycles are going to be illegal by 2035 and e-bikes are to blame. Here's my controversial take, and while for some reason it really pisses off motorcycle riders, it doesn't change the facts. Such as, imports into the US jumped about 72% from 2023 to 2024, showing a massive rise in demand. So is the whole future of the motorcycle industry going down because the next generation will only ride electric motorcycles? Some see a future of soy boy, limp-wristed waifs just queefing their way down the street, riding an electric appliance powered by a little Vitamix motor and a GPU so powerful it can pass the goddamn bar exam for you. Now others think it might lead to laws or trends that kill motorcycles. Well, whether you think e-bikes are the slippery slope to grown men abandoning choppers, or whether you think they're just kids' toys, e-bikes are impacting the future of the riding culture. And here is how. All I hear these days is, the stupid on the e-bikes almost ran that little f***er over. And yeah, they're kind of annoying, doing wheelies down the freeway and in the middle of traffic, acting all hard with their mushroom tip hair on their e-bikes. But I think there's a side to this that not many people see. This is the gateway drug.
Don't try and fight it.
But not to a future filled with electric bikes, but real goddamn motorcycles. The motorcycle industry has been on the decline ever since those TV shows went away. You can actually see it in Harley stock and sales number across many brands. Now this e-bike craze could very well be the resurgence to bring in the new generation that will raise motorcycling up to a new height of popularity. Check it out. Imagine you're a young kid and you choose skateboarding as a thing to do with your friends. Very cool. But what do you graduate to? You either just keep pushing wood or you give it up. Now maybe you get a tricycle as a kid. Then you get a bicycle with some training wheels. Then you get the dope BMX, and you put cards in the spokes. Then you get a mountain bike, and then you get your first motorcycle. You kind of see how that goes, right? Personally, here's my arc. I got a go-kart, then a riding mower, then a Trail 90, and then a Honda 600. And now I have more bikes than Jay Leno. I personally think the e-bike is a true graduation vehicle. It's opening the door for hundreds of young riders, if not thousands, who want to go further, faster, and have more freedom. And the next logical phase of evolution is a mother effing motorcycle. Now I hear you saying, oh my God, TJ, they all suck so bad at riding. They're gonna die on a chopper or kill me. Just wait. Yes, they do suck. They're dumbass kids. So if all these kids are riding at 12 years old and they keep riding, then they will most likely be a much more decent rider when they're like 20 and when they get on that first actual motorcycle, which will make the future road much safer, ideally. This is theory, of course. So when you start playing piano at 7 and you keep it up, you're typically much better at 21, rather than some insecure 21-year-old getting his first bike trying to be a Dyna Wheelie guy after 5 White Claws. And I'm not just talking out of my here, all right? I've done some research for you and I want to share. What's the deal with the rise of e-bikes? Is there any good to these things? And my personal opinions on how e-bikes are changing the future of motorcycles and the riding culture pretty rapidly. Oh, and one more thing, how some major companies are really shooting themselves in the foot pushing that electronic crap. So stick around, because I'm going to predict the future of the motorcycle industry using my special crystal ball. Ooh. And you may not like what I have to say, but...
that's just like, your opinion, man.
So first, what's the deal with the rise in popularity of these e-bikes? And we're not talking vroom vroom here, we're talking ding ding, e-bicycles. These things are everywhere. You've seen 12-year-olds ripping them across the freeway, your kids begging for one, you've heard local legislators ban them from hiking trails, clips of dip on YouTube trying to go viral by filming their own crashes. But are they really all that bad? These bikes are electric, battery-powered bicycles that, yes, can be pedaled, though I actually never see anyone using the pedals, but most enjoy them for their ease of use and as a pretty swift means of transportation. Now, the fact they're growing in popularity is not a surprise at all, and they really are blowing the up. Open your peepers and look around. But why are they getting so popular? If you ask any little kid if he wants a motorcycle, most kids say, hell yeah. So there's a demand, which equals business opportunity. But motorcycles are still illegal for little children, so that prevents them from buying them. So a smart person said, how can I make something I can sell to parents that gets the badass power and cool factor of a motorcycle into little Billy's hands? Now, I don't know if that's actually what he said, but you can imagine that's kind of what he said. Now enter the e-bike. So now kids and immature adults are all over them like white on rice. But are these things even good? Are they just for the kids? Let's go over the pros and cons really quick here. Pros. Okay.
All right, here we go. Answer's right there. Just gotta get some blood delivery.
Oh, I got it. You can be accepted by environmentalists and you can smugly sniff each other's farts as you greet one another at Whole Foods. You can also hear your butt buddy whispering sweet nothings to you from the pee-pad while driving to Domino's on a Tuesday evening in your flip-flops. No loud exhaust for you, it's just sack to crack, baby. Let's see, what else? Oh, they replace long walks. You also won't smell like gasoline or leather or really anything good after riding one. You also don't need tools or a tool chest or other manly fun things, because when they break, You throw it away and ask daddy for a new one. All right, now for these cons. First is gonna be obviously, well, I think the cost. You're probably buying it for your kid, and that's one hell of a birthday present. These things cost thousands. Now, if I had kids, they get a box of 10mm snap-on sockets instead, which is also thousands of dollars. Not much better. How about that sound, right? Well, what sound? They sound like a plastic zipper being undone slowly. It's very unsexual and rude. Next is, I'm gonna say that charging, the range logistics, they kind of suck. You gotta manage your charge cycles, be really mindful of mileage. Cold and heat really shortens range and battery life. Personally, nothing says freedom to me like battery life at 1%. They are also expensive to maintain. Electronics, sensors, firmware, proprietary parts, feeding the hamster in the driveline, watering the spur bearing, uncoupling the thrust flexion plates, and fewer shops are very comfortable with repairs. They just don't want to touch that. That makes the maintenance of these bikes a much bigger chore than they should be. Now, unfortunately, there's also not much, if anything, that's universal on these bikes. So you're stuck dealing with the AI assistant online when you need a new Chingus on your excitement bike. Also, they can catch fire. Oh yes, and not because you did anything either. This is actually a feature, not a bug, my friends. These bikes can catch fire at a moment's notice to keep you and your loved ones warm and cozy. Now, as one of my friends can tell you, they will also magically catch on fire in the middle of the night while charging. Wild. Now, he and his family are safe. However, the process of reclaiming your home after a fire or electrical battery fire is long, costly, and extremely stressful. A motorcycle doesn't need to be charged every time you stop it. Well, at least not the cool ones anyway. And the likelihood of your bike spontaneously catching fire is smaller than your chances of getting eaten by a koala. And I know some of you are like, well, they're kind of mean little but hey, very slim chance still. So in light of all these wonderful bonuses like increasing your life insurance premiums, should you get one or get one for your kid? If you're a grown-ass man, no. But for your kid, why the not? It's your freaking kid. Maybe you could make the kid mow the lawn every week and teach them the value of delayed gratification and maybe some sound financial judgment or management, you know? But why is this even a question here? How can I weigh in on this crap if I don't even have a kid? I have a freaking dog, and for all you dog owners, you're not a parent. No. So whatever. Here's my 2 cents. I think if you can get a kid on 2 wheels, that's an amazing thing. There it is. I think a lot of kids who are hopping on these electronic bicycles are being introduced to something really life-changing. And I'll cover this in a second because I do think this plays a major hand in changing the entire motorcycle industry, and in a way you absolutely would not expect. So stay with me, I'm gonna get to that. I think these bikes are a gateway to the future of more motorcycle riders. And in general, I do think they're a good thing to get people on 2 wheels faster. If I could have had one of these things as a kid, I probably would have loved that. Have you seen some of the crazy, like, what are they, Super 73s? Yeah, hey, leave me a comment if you think we should turn one into a chopper. I mean, if kids are gonna ride e-bikes, might as well be a chopper, right? Regarding the laws that are rapidly shaping the future of these things, because I know some of you guys are thinking that. Most recent headlines in Southern California are focused on the new e-bike laws that they restrict speed, they ban modifications, and enhance safety, which is totally dumb. As we all know, safety is always third. Now, in fact, a lot of local municipalities and cities are increasing their enforcement pretty rapidly. Just locally to me in Yorba Linda, they limited e-bikes to 10 miles an hour on equestrian trails and 25 miles an hour on city streets. And then off to the coast in Laguna and Seal Beach, can't even have an e-bike on the boardwalk or the sidewalk at all anymore. So while these bikes seem super fun, the kids doing things for the sake of getting views, like intentionally wrecking or ramming into the elderly, they're causing a lot of the crackdown and backlash from communities. I'm personally pretty bummed that so many people are getting hurt or causing accidents on these things, because this is why we're likely to see more legislation regarding electronic bike. But again, you still really can't compare them to motorcycles. And I think you'll agree with me. The chopper crowd and the e-bike crowd are not the same people, and that is totally okay. But thinking they're the same crowd is where some major manufacturers have gone totally off the freaking rails. And I'm gonna share with you the disaster Harley got itself into with this mindset in a hot second. So what I do think is gonna happen as a result of these e-bikes being incredibly popular is that the kids you see on the annoying pieces of crap are tomorrow's motorcycle riders. And no, I don't think electric motorcycles are gonna be the wave of the future. No, absolutely not. Even if internal combustion engines become archaic, they will always hold a very special place in our human history, and there will always be a desire to put something loud between your legs. These kids today will grow up to be adults eventually, and those adults are gonna want something cooler than an e-bike. So yeah, let's keep the kids safe, make sure they wear their helmets and all that, and obey traffic laws. But I'm actually looking forward to those kids being motorcycling's a bright future. So let's make sure we do our part as the old farts, all right? We're gonna keep it fun, we're gonna keep talking mad on those electric vehicles, because it's just a phase and they're gonna grow out of it. So as I mentioned earlier, why have major motorcycle manufacturers been putting so goddamn much money into electric motorcycles? Well, because they done up. They took action on what was politically popular and rode that green initiative wave rather than understanding and listening to real riders. They basically drank the Kool-Aid. And now that people are starting to see there's floating in the Kool-Aid, everyone's freaking out and vomiting Kool-Aid all over the place. And now you're all covered in Kool-Aid and And now we know that thinking electric is the future for everyone is just an ass-backwards way to think. Nothing is everything to everyone. Were speedboats the end of sailboats? Yeah, just for comparison's sake. Obviously not. Try convincing all the sailors of the American Cup that sailing is outdated. It's a bajillion-dollar industry. Now, that is the exact thinking that's burying Harley-Davidson right now. If you want to watch my video on that, check it out right here.